Yeah, it's our time to shine. Show that's the kind of state of mind you gotta combine with hard work and time. You gotta climb to the top. Don't let yourself drop till your heart stops. Let this beat rock. Got a new clock and a new stock for this new rock. Just let your mind loose from the new stock. Drunk off the goose, thinking that I'm too pop. Getting caught with a few thoughts cause I'm too lost. Off the speakers can't even handle me. Even what I got, nobody's gonna drain my energy. And I will never stop, I'm motivated by enemies. Setting up shop so everybody remember me. And no, I am not going through life regretfully. I'd rather work non-stop, what they call incessantly, than work some odd job just to live life pleasantly. Already got lost in my mind, not a fantasy. I'm getting a forgotten soul, so stop, drop, and roll. You lost all control and pop off your ball. I got squat, I fall, I'm not bought, I'm sold. My stock rocks, it's gold. Hey, knock, knock, she holding shit, talk to close. I ain't stopping though, it's hip-hop, you know. Or is it rock and roll? I'm not dropping down, no, my pockets grow. You can't stop the show, so get rockin' up. So let me break it all down for you. I ain't never giving up, I ain't never giving up. Taking that crown from you. I ain't worried about you, I ain't never. So let me break it all down for you. I ain't never giving up, I ain't never giving up. Taking that crown from you. I ain't worried about you, I ain't here to make friends. Yeah. I ain't never slowing down, keep on going till I'm down. No, I'm never slowing down cause we're blowing up now. I ain't never slowing down, keep on going till I'm down. No, I'm never slowing down cause we're blowing up. Hard words like a weapon, attack with no questions. In my own section and they still disconnected cause their mind's been infected and they're filled with objection. Too filled for recollection, so we're losing all attention. They don't know I'm in contention cause I'm gaining their attention, cause I'm making a connection. Lyricism and aggression got me feeling my ascension. In my passion, my profession, I'm attacking my obsession, taking action and progressing. I go off on the enemy, that's what makes them scared of me. Make my plans carefully, then execute them daringly. They say I act recklessly, but that's why I'm effective. See, you can't predict my tendencies, I offer no transparency. Some people think I'm lost, others think I'll be a legend. I'm never gonna stop till I'm one above second. And my thoughts at the top, but my mind stay present. Don't let your dreams stop, cause dreaming is a blessing. They tell me all the same, told me I won't make a name. But it's not about the fame, it's about keeping me sane. So I stay within my lane, feel my blood pump through my veins. Feel adrenaline, no pain, welcome all to my domain. So let me break it all down for you. I ain't never giving up, I ain't never giving up. Taking that crown from you. I ain't worried about you, I ain't never. So let me break it all down for you. I ain't never giving up, I ain't never giving up.
And we are live. I don't know how, but my mic wasn't set. I don't know how, don't ask me. But welcome everyone to another Ace Attorney live stream. And if I don't seem if I don't seem to be in the happiest mood, that's because I recorded before this. And I'm not mad about how the game turned out. I'm mad about College Football 26. Because the game played poorly. And when I say that, I mean, I don't know if the update inverted buttons, but somehow, any defender I was on, if I moved the right stick, they strafed. I don't know what happened, but there were a lot of button issues in that game. You guys will find out tomorrow with that episode. It's a close game. I'll let you know that. It's a close game, but you guys will find out all the anger during my commentary. Don't worry. I will complain about all of it. That's how my day has started. How's your guys' day going? Jaren Dash on the stream, guys. I saw that Kirk is a Raider. I saw. I had to get that little bit of a, complaint out. Alright, don't see anything on Twitter. I'm not getting burned out, it's the game acted weird. Like, I recorded that game like 7 times thinking like my sliders were doing something or something, so I reset a bunch of stuff because the game felt weird. So I recorded that game to some degree like 7 times because it kept happening, and I was like, what's going on? What is off? I think I might know the problem now. I think I might know the problem. Maybe. I might be wrong, although I think that thing is off, but I don't know. I'll double check at some point. But yeah, I was upset. Because at one point there's a play where we're running and literally our players are jogging. I am holding down R2 and our players are jogging. Yeah. And then there was a play I ran and L2 made him sprint and I was confused. Or at least it seemed like that. There must have been a placebo going on or something. It was very weird. It was very weird. Very weird. Oh yeah, it's the cheapest one. It's the weirdest 1-year deal I've ever seen in my life. It's the weirdest 1-year deal. No. The issue was the buttons weren't doing what they normally do. Like R2 didn't sprint, or at least it felt like it didn't. My players would automatically strafe. Like Ladarius Otis, you guys see that I just control him the entire game. He automatically started strafing when I would use him. He would just strafe an open field. And I'm like, why are you strafing? You're a defensive lineman. There was one point when I was recording, one of the times I just got annoyed by it and was like, I have to fucking fix this. I threw a pick, and then Manny Williams started strafing. And I'm like, why do they start strafing? I think I know why now. I have an idea. I'll check it after stream, but I have an idea. It was just annoying the shit out of me, and guys weren't running, so. I will say, though, Auburn is Auburn. That's all I'll say there. Alright. I need to fix my camera. This shows you how focused I was during setup. Nope. Need to go up just a tad bit more. You gotta get to see my hand a bit. There we go. Now we're good. That's enough headroom. Alright, now that I've complained enough about college football 26, and I'm not one to complain about how games played 9 times out of 10, but I just had to today. Ooh. But also, it was a bad enough day that I needed a second cup of coffee already, so that's when you know it's a rough one. I had to get my happy juice out. Alright, but let's focus on the next part of Ace Attorney, where we find out exactly what our boy Apollo has been up to since he left. Let's get into this. Oh no, I did up my volume. That's why I couldn't hear it. I know why I couldn't hear it. The courtroom bombing incident. A terrible whatever the fuck. The incident perfectly symbolized the state of the legal world in this dark age of the law. Mr. Wright brought it to a resolution of sorts. Ted Tone was discovered to be the one responsible for the bombing. If only it were that simple. However, I can't help but think that there's a darker influence at work. One that's lurking in the shadows, waiting. That's why I want to review the trial that was taking place when the bombing occurred. After all, I've got more than a few personal stakes in it. I'm trying to fix my mic. Okay. The fuck? Oh, hey, this is convenient with actual world news. Because we just sent a lunar mission.
Everything's
You guys see that?
We're ready here whenever you are.
Whoa! Kablooey.
Come in at 2. Come in. Do you copy?
Uh-oh. Oh, fuck. This is the Challenger disaster. I shouldn't joke about that. I'd take that back. Oh, God. What? Oh! Well, I didn't expect that. A body has been discovered. Shit. I think that's the first time that we've gotten one of these where we weren't kind of shown who did it immediately. Why did I not? The recording's got my brain all rewired. I didn't even think about that. Oh, that's good shit. Red is sus. I saw him not go to medical, so we should vote him out the airlock. Time for another trial to begin. But this one is different. You were in Reactor? I don't know, Jan. I don't think I saw you in Reactor. I had to go to Reactor. I know I passed by Dash and Medical. Oh, you were in O2, Dash? Who did I pass by on the way to Medical? Oh, God. I have no idea who the fuck this could be. Sorry to bother you, but... Oh, it's Junie. Are you alright, Apollo? Oh, my voices aren't good. We both of you to assume you're not the guilty one. I mean, I'm just saying. I didn't see you in Reactor. That's all I'm saying. Was I making a scary face just now? Oh, hi, Juniper. Yes, I'm fine. I was just doing my Chords of Steel exercises. Now I'm all ready to go. Yes, knowing you, I'm sure you will be just fine. There we go, I found it. Oh, I brought you a present from my garden. I mean, I think everybody did. I did not play a lot of Among Us, but of course I don't have a lot of friends to play with, and that's what that was about. So, yeah. Watched a good chunk of Among Us. Is this a lotus root? That's right. My grandma says lotus root is good for your eyes. She even says that if you look through the holes, it can help you see into the future. God, man, Fall Guys is something I have not heard of in forever. Fall Guys fell off. Among Us still has a little bit of a, like, play base, but, dude, Fall Guys literally fell off. She's sweet, secure the bag, Apollo. It's for good luck. Maybe later you can cook it and... Thanks for this. I'm gonna have some right now. Oh my. Kinda tough though. You can't eat it raw, but thank you for the enthusiastic try. Oops. If she didn't think me weird before, she will now. Yeah, I've got to calm down. Apollo! I'm sorry I'm late. Hey, Athena. Junie, I didn't know you were coming today. Did you come to cheer Apollo on? Oh, I get it. You shy little thing, you. Athena, stop. Quit kidding around, Athena. The trial's about to start any second. Is everything all set? Oh, Apollo, Apollo. When will you ever figure it out? Figure out what? I have no idea who could make that sound. Oh, that was a sigh? Okay. That's the sound I made during recording. No, actually, it was a lot of explicitives. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That was the longest sigh I've ever heard. No, you won't. Because you're just gonna get a lot of anger out of me during commentary. That's all you're gonna get. You'll probably get some explicitives just because, but... Why does this man's head look like a pencil? I can't be the only one who just sees a pencil, right? I can't be the only one. This is it. It's all over for me. They're gonna find me guilty. This is our client. One, Mr. Solomon Saul Starbuck. I love your coffee, sir. Your actual, like, coffee, not the... No, your lattes are great too, but the coffee is good. He's a very famous astronaut who happens to be an acquaintance of mine. You wouldn't know it right now, but he's usually a very upbeat and driven person. The scene of the crime this time happened to be the Cosmos Space Center. Back in high school, my best friend and I went there almost a little too much. But that's where we met Mr. Starbuck. We'd ask about space travel, and he'd launch into story after story with so much passion. Back in those days, the man was 100% my hero. Are you sure you're okay with being my lawyer, Apollo? Of course I'm sure. I know you, Mr. Starbuck. I know you're not the type to commit murder. Thanks, but... I was supposed to be in space right about now. He's so depressed it almost seems like an act. The launch getting called off must have been a huge shock. I'll probably never get the chance to go into space again. Don't say that. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street lights. People. Come on. Mr. Starbuck, you're just a small town boy. Taking the midnight train. Going anywhere. Besides, you just have to go into space again. Yeah. I don't think I could face Clay in the afterlife if I just rotted away in a cell. You're telling me that main protag got killed? Come on. That man looks like he's the main protagonist. Come on. I don't believe he was the murder victim. That man looks like he's got fucking plot armor. Crazy. Kirk's officially made more earnings than Tom Brady. That's not too much of a surprise, because Brady had a lot of years where he just took no money. Not really. Not really a massive surprise. Spiky hair check, tape on the nose check, or check. He's got plot armor, man. I mean, that's what happens when you're very solid, but not great. Clay Turan? I can't believe he was murdered. I mean, he was such a promising astronaut under your command. Yeah. He was a good guy. Always there to pick me up when I was down. No one loved life as much as him. That's for sure. He was always so full of energy, telling me, "You're fine, Mr. Starbuck." How could something like this happen to a guy like him, huh? I've never seen Mr. Starbuck so down. He's so main character coded. Shockingly, he's just a side character. He's got that main protag look, man. Clay's gone and I'm going to prison. I could burn up like a shooting star right now. Mr. Starbuck, you'll be fine. Yeah, what is it? What's with the yelling? I'll get to the bottom of this today. You'll see. And in exchange, I want you to go back into space for you and Clay. Promise? Does that mean you have lots of evidence to prove my innocence? Oh. Well, about that, we didn't get to investigate the area as much as I'd have liked, thanks to the police. I'm done for. I'm a goner. Everybody thinks I did it. Thought I was gonna soar like a comet. But I'm just gonna crash like a meteorite. Can we just say this? Can we just say this? That is such a cool analogy. I love that. Like, I'm not a huge space guy, but that's a cool-ass space analogy. I like that. No, don't say that, Mr. Starbuck. Don't count yourself out yet. I know it's hard to lose a teammate, but you've got to keep going. And what about you, Apollo? What about me? I was just thinking, wasn't Clay your best friend? No wonder he had main pro tag looks. He is plot armor. He just physically is the plot armor. We need to focus on the trial right now. Are you all ready to go? Don't say Apollo's name at this moment. You gotta be fucking ready. The trial is about to begin. If the defense would please proceed to the courtroom. Okay, here we go. This is it. This is one trial I can't afford to lose. For Clay's sake and our clients, I will find Clay's killer. What up, Judge? Court is now in session for the trial of Solomon Starbuck. Oh shit, Apollo's got his fucking eye patch. I didn't realize he had his eye patch already. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Excuse me, Mr. Justice. Yes, Your Honor? What happened to your eye? I'm fine. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Are you sure? I don't... I'm fine, Your Honor. The defense is ready. I'm sorry, Your Honor. He's been like this since yesterday. He keeps insisting it's just a sty. I suppose it's something he doesn't want to discuss. Maybe he's entering a touchy age. What the fuck does that mean? Very well. Then the prosecution. The prosecution appears to be ready as well.
Silence.
Alright, Blackwell. Let me get ready to go here. Not yet. I'm not quite ready yet. Hmm? Why is the box here? 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 That is the same box that the bomb guy had. Why is it here? The prosecution is now ready. Well, it didn't take him long this time. What's up with Blackwell? Now then. I shall give the opening statement.
Silence.
Yeah, but what's the case doing there? I don't get why the case is there. Because wouldn't that be in the other courtroom? Because didn't the other trial take place in courtroom 5? And this courtroom 4, I believe?
I'll do it.
You will? What an unexpected surprise.
This time, I can't leave it to anyone else.
I see. Huh. Something is off with the two of you today. You both seem different, somehow. But why is it there? I don't see the reason it should be there. Very well. Prosecutor Blackwell, your opening statement, if you would.
It was just yesterday. The crimes in question occurred at the Cosmos Space Center.
Ah, that famous federal research facility of all things related to astrology, right?
Astronomy. It's astronomy. Anyway, a rocket was set to launch from there. But at 9:28 a.m., before they could even move the rocket to the launch site, two explosive devices were detonated, and the launch was cancelled.
My word! 2 bombs! How dreadful!
The defendant in today's trial is charged with both the bombing and with murder. One Mr. Solomon Starbuck. For whatever inane reason, he detonated a bomb on the rocket he himself would be in.
Solomon Starbuck. I recognize that name. Isn't he that famous astronaut?
Correct, your baldness. Mr. Starbuck was the pilot of the Hat 1 rocket 7 years ago. As you may recall, despite some interstellar trouble, his mission was a success. Some say it was a miracle he returned alive. I suppose you could say he's a living legend.
Oh, I remember now. He's become something of an international celebrity, right? Ah. Mankind's hope for the future. I've got him. Wait. I gotta remember the voice I gave him now. I gotta get back to that. I've gotta make it back alive. The Hat's one miracle. Come along on a captivating space odyssey that will take your breath away. They even turned that incident into a movie and everything. We've got a real space pioneer in court today.
But even heroes tumble from their lofty heights. Returning to the subject at hand.
Ah, yes. The victim was one Mr. Clay Tehran, a subordinate of the defendant.
Indeed. A loyal disciple brutally stabbed to death by his mentor.
Stabbed to death, you say? You mean his death wasn't a result of the bombing?
Correct. Despite his lofty dreams, the victim was seen as an interloper by the defendant. And so, he was sent not into space, but to the universe which we mortals cannot see.
That might be the most emo thing he said yet. Clay. I think I've heard enough. The case seems pretty clear-cut at this point. However, there is one thing I'm curious about. That metal box next to the witness stand. Thank you, Judge. Thank you. What purpose does it serve exactly?
Since you asked so nicely, it's your coffin.
Have mercy on me!
I jest. It's evidence. Due to its immense size, we've little choice but to lay it where it rests now. We shall get to the contents of the box in due time.
I feel like I just lost 50 years off my life. Does he even have 50 years left? Inner monologue, Athena. Inner monologue.
Enough jabbering.
I wasn't ready for Fulbright just yet. Bobby Fulbright's the name. In justice, we trust. Now, Detective Fulbright. Very well, then. Please explain the details of this incident to the court, if you would. On it. First, take a look at this pamphlet from the Cosmos Space Center. In it, you'll find a diagram outlining the overall layout of the Space Center. Ah, here we are. For a more detailed look at what's on the left side of this building, take a look at this cross-section that we, the police, have created. See the launch pad in the main building? The launch pad is the square building and the round structure is the main building, right? You got it! The incidents take place in Launch Pad 1 and in the main building's lounge. I'll be using this diagram during my testimony. It'll make it easier to understand. Alright, Fulbright, what you got for us? Just before the rocket was set to launch, 2 bombs went off. Boom! Boom! One on the second floor of the Space Center's main building, and one in Launch Pad 1. Thankfully, only the 2 astronauts were in Launch Pad 1 at the time. The 2 of them managed to make it back as far as the boarding lounge. But after the escape, one of the 2 was found stabbed to death. I feel like I'm putting a lot into Fulbright today. Not really mad about it, but I just feel like I'm giving a lot to Fulbright today. Alright. I'm keeping tabs on when the Minnesota game starts. A murder on top of a bombing. Detective, the victim was already dead by the time you arrived at the lounge, right? Yup. Thinking he'd sabotage the bombing, the defendant killed him right there in the rocket. Just look at this tragic photo. That is the most... Okay, I'm sorry. If you've never seen him. If you have never seen him. Let me just... Let me get a photo here. Because if you can't tell me that is main character, then I don't know what we are looking at. Nope. Shit. Okay, this one will work. Here, I want you to take a look at this. This right here. This right here is Ty from Digimon. This is the main character of Digimon. Tell me they do not look nearly identical. Outside of the darker hair and the nose tape, you can't tell me they did not main character the shit out of this man. This is the main leader of the bunch of kids from Digimon. Just grown up, darker hair. That's all we're looking at here. Like, that is the only thing I saw was fucking Ty from Digimon looking at this man. I'm like, they killed Ty. You can't do that. I'm already emotionally distraught enough from the ending of Digimon Tri. You can't do that to me. Like, look at this. Hey, is there any... I'm gonna try and flip this. Let's flip this around. Alright, you see how it is currently? Now, look at this. Boom, it is the same dude. If I just put it over him like that, it's the same guy. If I could Photoshop easily in here, I would. That is the same man. I am telling you. 150%. That is just Ty from Digimon. Oh my! Is that a knife in the victim's chest? Yes, Your Honor. It's the knife that cruelly ended this young man's dreams. We couldn't get any prints off of it, though, because the defendant was in his spacesuit. Okay, so what? I guess maybe the knife belongs to, Starbuck? Because, like, what evidence do they have that Starbuck did it is really the main thing I want to know. By the way, Detective Fulbright, why are the victim's helmet and right glove absent in this photograph? Also, what the fuck is the mushroom thing next to him? We had to remove them to identify him, Your Honor. I personally removed his glove during the investigation. We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity after all. Yes. It would be very difficult to ID him without a face or fingerprints. Now there's just one more thing I'd like to inquire about. What is this round thing next to the victim in this photo? Dude, the judge is on point for me today. I have never felt more in tune with the judge than today. Of all days. I'm just saying.
Something so important to the victim, he took it with him as he escaped the launch pad. A capsule that apparently contains asteroid samples. While obviously valuable for research purposes, it has no relation to this case.
I see. So, we know that the bomb in the main building was on the second floor. But where was the bomb that was in Launchpad 1 located? That one was on the rocket itself. It was situated around the central part of the rocket. Apparently, the area around the launch pad's elevator was a sea of flames. I would like to submit this diagram report into the record. The trials just started and we're already in a bind. You get used to it. Besides, that's what cross-examination is for, right? What the 2 astronauts were doing during the bombing. That'll be the key. Alright. Whoo! Let's find ourselves a contradiction.
Hold it!
How powerful were the explosions? Well, the one in the main building wasn't strong enough to bring the place down. But the room it went off in was burned black. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Due in large part, of course, to me stepping up to lead the evacuation. He really is just All Might. Wait, what were you doing there in the first place, Detective Fulbright? I'm Bobby Fulbright, hero of justice. I'll be there wherever and whenever people need my help. I'd go to the other side of the world or even the edge of the universe. I'm not sure he knows how far that actually is. But I guess I'll leave that one alone.
Admirable decision, Justice Dono.
Huh? What did he decide? Anyway, could you describe what it was like at the Space Center at that time? The bomb cut the power to the central bank of elevators and the 3rd floor lounge. It was pitch black in there, I tell you. However, the security cameras and whatnot were running on emergency backup. And how did the evacuation go? I immediately and heroically whisked people down to the Space Center's basement shelter. The basement shelter. Yes, there's an emergency shelter beneath the Space Center. An emergency shelter? Huh. Oh, here it is. It's at the bottom of the diagram. Oh, I didn't even see that. The Space Center's pretty impressive to have its own shelter. The power outage and evacuation seem unrelated to the murder at this point. I guess I'll leave that aside for now. So there were 2 explosions in total, correct? Yep, that's right.
Hold it!
Let me get this straight. Mr. Starbuck rigged a rocket he was going to board with explosives? Huh? What are you talking about? If the defendant really did plant the bomb on his own rocket, he'd get caught in the explosion as well. Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Fine. A simpleton for a simpleton. Fulbright. The motive.
Vengeful Pathologist is a pretty good name. Not gonna lie, that's a good bot name. We haven't had many good bot names. Understood. The defendant actually had astrophobia. Astrophobia? What's that? A fear of space, naturally. Just the thought of space can cause the afflicted to freeze up. And so, in his terror, the defendant found a way to stop the launch at the last minute. That's absurd. Unfortunately for you, we have evidence. Take a look at these. The man brought some medication. What are they? These anti-anxiety tablets were found among the defendant's possessions. Okay, so the police are straight up like, yo, the dude's scared of space. That's why he's got anxiety. That's what they just, that's their thought process. Wow. That is the dumbest thing. What? Damn. Damn, man. That's crazy. Apparently, this is Jags news I'm seeing on Twitter. Apparently, Cole Van Landen tore his ACL and still played in the playoff game. Apparently, he tore his ACL before that game and still played in it. That is insane. That's crazy. Hell of a fucking way to do it. Oof. Apparently, he was taking them in secret to quell his fears. I just think he's got anxiety. I don't think that means much.
There was a magnitude of problems with the rocket Mr. Starbuck rode 7 years ago. Rumor has it, it threatened to crash a number of times as well. That was, of course, very traumatic for Mr. Starbuck.
Objection!
But that doesn't mean he'd go so far as to blow up his own ship.
Silence.
The defendant couldn't bear to mar his good name, now could he? No, not after the media had branded him Soul Starbuck, space pioneer extraordinaire. Given these conditions, the defendant could hardly run away like some base mutt.
What? So that's why you think he resorted to the bombing?
Naturally, he constructed this act of sabotage in an attempt to blow up the Space Center, which would effectively abort the launch. not spare his reputation.
Now I'm sure you understand why we have to bring justice down on this atrocious criminal.
Hold it!
Are you sure it was only the two of them? It was just before the spaceship was set to launch, so of course it was only those two. Well, there could have been somebody else inside that rocket.
Silence!
The notion of a third party in Launchpad 1 is utterly absurd. Just to enter the area from the lounge, one must pass through a door guarded by a fingerprint recognition device. And allow me to state up front that there are no precious few with the clearance to do so.
A fingerprint recognition device? Sounds as futuristic and complex as a space center. Actually, it's not as amazing as you think, Your Honor. Take a look at this photo. This is the door in the lounge with the fingerprint lock. Only personnel whose fingerprints are registered can pass through. What? I see. That is very different from what I had in mind. And is there a record of the number of people that passed through the door yesterday? Yes, there were only 3. The defendant, the victim, and the director of the Space Center, Yuri Cosmos. Then doesn't that mean it's possible that the director is the one who did it?
Not a chance. He was in the main building when the bombs exploded at 9:28, doing his job, directing the launch.
Now, I'm just gonna say this. I don't think that takes him out of the running, because he easily could have set something up to, set up the explosion. Just saying. Just saying.
Besides having an alibi, he has no motive for committing these senseless acts.
He has a point. I guess the director can't be considered a suspect then.
Hold it!
So while it would appear that the pair barely escaped with their lives, in actuality, one of them had already been murdered inside the rocket. That's the angle the prosecution wants to push, correct? You got it! In fact, that's what I've been trying to say this whole time! If the victim had been alive, he would have for sure tried to stop the bombing. Is there any chance Mr. Tehran could have been killed before he boarded the rocket? They were both alive and well at boarding time, and embarked under their own power. Their hearts full of hope and dreams of space. And then both of their hopes and dreams were dashed. If I may continue my explanation, after the evacuation order was given, the defendant made his escape, carrying the victim to make it look like a rescue.
Hold it!
And who was the first to find the victim? Actually, there were two of them.
The Space Center director, Yuri Cosmos, and Detective Candace Arm.
I remember her. She got exploded.
One of them was a detective.
Yup, Detective Arm specializes in bombings, you see. She and the director were ordering the evacuation following the explosions. They were also worried about the astronauts, so they hurried over to the boarding lounge. That's when they discovered the victim along with the defendant. Two witnesses, huh? And one of them is a detective. I doubt either would have anything to say that would help me. I think that pretty much covers the details of the case. Only the victim and the defendant were on the launch pad when the former was killed. Is this the truth? If this is the truth, then only Mr. Starbuck could have carried out this crime. What little I could get out of him only hurt my case.
Justice don't know. Foolish is the warrior who rushes headlong into battle. Preparation is an essential element of battle, so advise you take a gander at this.
What is this?
Footage from a security camera. As the two astronauts emerged from the bowels of the Launchpad 1 corridor. The boarding lounge security camera captured their desperate escape. Now, I would direct your attention to what the defendant is shouldering, which you can see is none other than the lifeless body of the victim.
What? Order! Order, I say! This lines up exactly with what the prosecution has been asserting. I should have known Black Quill would have something like this ready. Apollo? How exactly did they determine that Clay was already gone in that footage? Ah, I see what you mean. Whether Clay was still alive at this point is pretty crucial. Your Honor, please take another look at the footage. Isn't it possible that Mr. Tehran was still alive here and that Mr. Starbuck was helping him? Why, I believe you're right. One man carrying the other to safety. What a beautiful expression of friendship.
Silence.
That's going in the fanfic.
Perhaps that's what it looks like to a one-eyed hothead and a dotard. Dotard? I don't know. But it only makes sense if it's the victim's dead body.
What do you mean?
Fulbright, explain it to Justice Stono.
You got it. Ready, kid? If the murder had occurred in the lounge, someone could have spotted it. Anyone can enter the lounge after all. But doing it while they were alone in the spaceship, that's a horse of a different color. That fanfic's been going for a long time. You don't understand how long this man's been putting that fanfic together.
Objection!
But you can't deny that there's a possibility the murder could have happened in the lounge. All that video shows is a man helping his fellow astronaut out.
Silence.
Your assertion is based on emotion. It's based in your belief that Mr. Starbuck would surely help his own disciple. But you have no logical explanation as to why the victim could still be alive.
Unfortunately, Mr. Justice, the prosecution is right. Your argument is lacking in sound logic. But it sounded perfectly logical to me. Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further objections, I believe it's time to bring this cross-examination to a close. Let me just save real quick. Objections? Well, Your Honor, the defense requests a little time to think and regroup. Given the facts, I'm not sure I see the need. What is it, Athena? It's just, there's something that's been bothering me.
If it isn't the defense stalling for time, as always. Very well. I'm feeling generous. You may have a small measure of time.
Yes.
You have 5 seconds.
5 seconds?
After that, I declare this cross-examination to be closed and a verdict to be rendered. Your baldness. Raise your gavel high. It's time for a countdown.
Oh!
Ready?
We don't have time. Spit it out, Athena. Only three more seconds. Look, I don't think the prosecution's explanation is very complete. Meaning? Meaning there's something missing. Like, they've conveniently left it unexplained. Something they didn't explain? Something they didn't explain. Ah, you're right. I think I know what you're talking about. Your 5 seconds are up, Mr. Justice. Is there anything about the prosecution's argument that you'd like to rebut? Yes, Your Honor. Actually, there is. There is something the prosecution has yet to make clear to this court. Well, if you put it that way, what is it that the prosecution has failed to explain? Oh, I know this one exactly. Why the body was moved. Because if he was just going to kill him, you might as well let him go kablooey, right? Gets rid of any evidence. Why was the body moved? They have failed to explain why Mr. Starbuck would bother bringing the body back at all. If the defendant wanted to kill the victim, why didn't he just leave the body in the rocket? Why go through the trouble of bringing him all the way back to the boarding lounge? No, that's true. I don't think we've heard the prosecution's thoughts on that yet. That's because they have none, Your Honor. After all, how does one explain something so illogical? The prosecution is claiming that the defendant moved the victim's dead body. But what if the entire premise of that argument is wrong?
Then let's...
Well, I was thinking we were going to Blackwell. My brain got ahead of me. Then let's hear your theory, Mr. Justice. I was ready to get emo for the judge. The defense proposes that the defendant didn't kill the victim. He was helping him.
Fulbright. Explain it for our sad friend here before I nod off to his monotone monologue.
Can we all applaud Blackwell's alliteration? Who doesn't love some good alliteration? Whew.
Inform him exactly why Spaceboy moved the victim.
Huh? They've got to be joking. It's simple. Mr. Starbuck did what he did to direct suspicion away from himself. He wanted to create the impression he heroically risked his life to save his partner. That's why he made sure to make it to the security camera, so there'd be a record.
At the very least, he appears to have achieved success with you and the old man. The average person wearing a spacesuit weighs easily over 200 pounds, saving the life of a partner who weighs as much while trying to escape deadly flames. What a dramatic sob story fit for the silver screen.
Indeed. I was completely taken in by the humanity of the story. I once saw this film at Sundance.
You see, that the true ending is that all traces of his hammy act were meant to be blown up. Yes, and now we arrive at the thrilling conclusion. The third explosion.
What are you talking about? There was no third explosion.
Silence.
Indeed, you were correct. But that is thanks to Detective Arm. It was she who identified and secured the bomb. However, it doesn't change the fact that the third bomb was discovered in the lounge. The steel coffin beside the witness stand. That would be a bomb transport case. We used that to transport the deactivated bomb here. It was found in the lounge. A bomb in the form of a most distasteful toy.
What?
One on the second floor of the main building, one on the launch pad, and one in the lounge. The defendant planned to set off 3 firework displays. Fortunately, the third was discovered before it could be detonated. Or had it not, the victim's body and the other vital evidence would surely have been immolated.
Objection!
Yeah.
Before you utter a word, know that the evidence supports me.
It's like he's reading my mind.
As it is still undergoing forensic investigation, I do not have the evidence on hand. However, know that a peculiar item was found in one of Mr. Starbuck's pockets. Specifically, a bomb detonation switch.
You found what?
I suspect the defendant had no time to destroy such damning evidence. When the Space Center director and Detective Arms stumbled across the murder, so he thought to hide it in his pocket. Feeble-brained that he is.
No, Mr. Starbuck would never do anything like that.
Justice, Dono. Open your eyes and see the truth.
This appears to be irrefutable evidence that the accused set off the explosions. No, there has to be some kind of mistake. This can't be the truth.
Still can't accept it? You believe in your client, come what may? Then why don't you cross-examine the defendant himself?
This has got to be a trap. It's like Black was controlling the entire game. Yeah, it seemed like he was wanting for me to bring up the body moving issue. Why do you say that? Because he had just the right argument when I pointed it out. And to really rub it in, he had a decisive piece of evidence up his sleeve too. He was trying to shake my faith in Mr. Starbuck and break me down. Then making you cross-examine Mr. Starbuck at this point was part of his plan too? Totally underhanded, but I wouldn't expect anything less from him. Bro, I can already feel my voice is going. I'd not expect it to be this quick. I guess that's what happens when Fulbright shows up early. And I essentially just have to yell.
Now, let us hear from the arch-villain, the fiendish murderer himself, famed astronaut Solomon Starbuck.
Witness, your name and occupation, please. Solomon Starbuck, astronaut. How did this happen? Mr. Starbuck, you aren't looking very well. Will you be able to give testimony? No. Well, unfortunately, no is not an option. You are being accused of the Space Center bombing and the murder of Clay Tehran. I love the pun on his name, Clay Tehran. I like that. Clever. Clever. Please testify to these allegations. Mind if I take this suit off? It's getting really heavy.
Silence.
It's not the weight of the suit that you feel, but of your sins. Prepare to carry that weight for the rest of your life.
Banish me to the moon. I don't care anymore. Guy sounds like me while playing college football. Wow, that was super negative. Is he going to be alright up there? He'll be fine. I think. As long as he doesn't totally give up and say he did it, that is. Ba, ba, ba. Ba, 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 da, ba. Ba, da, 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 da. I'm turning on the Twins Royals game. Just to keep an eye on what happens in that one. Because I got home runs needed. So. Well, let me grab a water. Let me grab a water. Since you're making me hydrate. I'll be back in a second. I'm back. With water. Put it over here. All I did was support Clay over my shoulder and get us out of the rocket. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor. Clay had passed out by the time we got the order of evacuate, or got the order to evacuate. I didn't kill Clay. I was trying to save him. So you were certain you didn't set off the bombs or murder the victim. But I bet you think I'm lying, right? I reserve all judgment until after I've heard your full testimony. I'm sure you don't believe me. I bet you don't even believe I'm an astronaut. I don't think the judge doubts that. Who'd wear a suit like that? Who'd wear a suit like that except an astronaut? I will say that when I saw you in that movie, you appeared quite courageous, though I suppose reality never quite lives up to fantasy. I guess I'm just a big disappointment. I really don't care what happens anymore. Oh no, he's completely given up.
What a depressing fellow. And I thought I was just emotionless. This man's taking me to another level. If you were to join me in the clink, I imagine that annoying sighing of yours would rub off on the other inmates.
Like how it rubbed off on Prosecutor Blackwell a second ago? Huh? That was Blackwell sighing? Mr. Starbuck's testimony contains a glaring contradiction. The question is, what does it mean? Even if Mr. Starbuck is my client, I can't be gun-shy now. It's time to find out the truth. Alright, Starbuck.
Hold it!
So what you're saying is that the victim was still alive at that time. Of course. He was alive and well.
Silence.
If so, then you admit you took a man who was alive and well and silenced him permanently with this.
What? No. Black hole confirmed. Dead ahead. It's no good, Captain. I'm getting sucked in! Mr. Starbuck? You're not in space. Please give your testimony seriously. It was just nerves. But maybe I shouldn't have said he was alive and well. It was more like he was slumped over. There's a completely opposite ends of the spectrum.
Hold it!
Is that the elevator inside the launch pad area? That's right. We always use it to get to and from the cockpit. That makes sense. So he was just using the route he always used. In spite of the fact that there had just been an explosion? Huh? I think Mr. Starbuck is hiding something. Something pretty big. I just want to look at the shit again. Yep, okay.
Hold it!
I'm pressing everything, but I think I know what I need to go with. I think. Passed out? Why was he passed out? Probably because of the explosion. The noise and vibration were incredible. It's little wonder a person would pass out, right? I guess? Not that I'd know. Yeah, I've been hit by space debris. The main engine's on fire. It's gonna blow. Ah! Yes, I see. I guess it does make sense that someone would pass out. Especially if the person in question is Mr. Starbuck. Anyway.
Hold it!
Don't worry. I understand. I'll make sure everything turns out alright. But everyone's glaring at me like I did it. Apollo, you have to reassure him better than that. And how am I supposed to do that? Try to imagine how he's feeling and use that to figure out how to boost his confidence. Mr. Starbuck, think back to what Clay used to always say. It's times like these when he would repeat, "I'm fine," to himself. I'm fine? Yeah, I guess he did say that a lot. But even if I shout it, Clay will still be dead. What's the use? somebody please reassure me now? Apollo, there's something strange about Mr. Starbuck's testimony. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. There's a glaring contradiction. I just wonder why it's there and what it means for our case. Well, it doesn't look like he's lying, at least. Guess I'll have to show some evidence. Alright, I don't know how you could do that when the bomb was on the middle level.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, I need your testimony to be as accurate as possible. Well, was I not being accurate? No, because it's impossible for you to have taken the elevator down to the middle level. What makes you say that, Mr. Justice? Please recall where the bomb went off in Launchpad 1. Also, recall that after the explosion, the middle level elevator was engulfed in flames. Oh, you're right. Which means... Exactly. The Launchpad's elevator would have been unusable, in other words. Mr. Starbuck, your statement is decidedly inconsistent with the facts. What's with the helmet? Mission Command! Mission Command! Do you read me? Come in, please!
Objection!
This is Mission Command. I order you to pay attention! Stop this nonsense and answer my questions, Mr. Starbuck. I will say it is a jam. This track's a jam. Although all the music in this game's good, so, you know. My helmet! My oxygen tank! Oxygen concentration and body temperature declining. Requesting medical assistance. This man's killing my throat. Mr. Starbuck, we are not in space right now. Please stop pretending you have lost consciousness and stand back up. I apologize, Your Honor. I forgot I was still on Earth. I mean, kinda. Kinda. I feel like we all just got a real glimpse of Solomon Starbuck the astronaut. Yeah. He seemed more like an astronaut now than when he was doing all the sign. Mr. Starbuck, could you please explain the inconsistency in your statement? About how you use the middle elevator? Or middle level elevator? I was nervous, and I said the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I actually, took a different route, I think. God, I got, like, something just stuck in my throat. Whew! A different route? Feel like it's been a while for you, Blackwell.
I hope you're able to deliver a straight story this time.
I'll get it right this time. Maybe. No? I mean, probably.
Probably.
It's understandable to be nervous, but let me remind you accuracy is paramount in court. Let's see. My escape route. What I said before was a mistake. I remember now. I took a different route. Maybe. Probably. With the capsule and clay in my arms, I made my way down from the upper level. So you're saying you escaped without using the elevator? That's right. There's a ladder that spans the upper and middle levels. I used that ladder to get to the middle level. Luckily, the fire hadn't reached the ladder, so we could make our escape that way. And the capsule you mentioned, I suppose you mean the thing next to Mr. Turan here? Was the capsule that important that you'd risk your life to take it with you? It almost goes without saying, but yeah. That capsule contains asteroid samples. Therefore, it's invaluable as research material. With his spacesuit on, Clay weighed a ton, but securing the capsule was also important. I need you to answer to the best of your ability. Mr. Starbuck, please remember that your verdict is riding on your testimony. Maybe I am guilty after all. I wonder if you can see the stars in prison. That's more comfortable than a spaceship.
Hold it!
How could you mistake such a basic fact? Hey, everybody makes mistakes, but try thinking about the vastness of space instead. From Earth, it takes 4 light years to travel to our nearest neighboring star. So you see, compared to the vast expanse of space, human error is insignificant. I wish you'd consider it just a little more significant than 0.
Enough jabbering. Get on with your testimony.
Hold it!
Maybe? Probably? Did I hear you right, Mr. Starbuck? I didn't say either of those things. Mission Control, come in, please. An error has occurred in the sound system. Activate the emergency tin can telephone. Oh, no! Tin can telephones are ineffective in the vacuum of space.
Silence!
Stop this nonsense or I will serve you. I will sever you and your tin can telephone.
Alright, I'm begging you, I'll tell the truth. Just don't sever anything. Apollo, is he going to be alright? I'm starting to think he's not. Let me see. So, about when we were running away.
Hold it!
The upper level of the launch pad area. That's right. That's what I said, isn't it? Granted, that route does exist. So, to recap, you had clay over your right shoulder, and the capsule in your left hand. Yeah, it's really important, so I couldn't let it get burned up. So, even though clay was really heavy, I couldn't afford to carry him with both hands. I did the best I could with him over one shoulder and the capsule in my other hand. I don't think the meaning of what he just said has hit him yet.
You know what you have to do with that statement, Justice Dono.
Yes, I know. Well, I've come this far. No turning back now. It's time to present some evidence. So, Mr. Starbuck escaped with clay and the capsule, which means it's just like the footage. I can see why he couldn't run, though. He must have weighed over 200 pounds just by himself. Yeah, and he had to support Clay, who was another 200 pounds. Plus, he had to ensure the safety of that capsule. I don't think I could have ever walked under those circumstances. Walking straight forward is probably about all I would have been able to manage. Alright. I gotta hear that again just so I know exactly what I need to show. Alright. Clay over your right shoulder, and the capsule on your left hand. Yep, okay. Alright. I will say I am tempted to just go with the door lock. Because I feel like that is more of a contradiction, because how the fuck do you do that?
Objection!
I just want to see. Because to me, that I can see the argument here. I don't think it, like... I easily don't think this does anything, but I could totally see it. I object to you on personal grounds. Yep. Alright. I mean, I'm just gonna reload here because I figured I was wrong. I wanted to see.
Objection!
Is it? Wait a minute. So, it's not that, it's not that. It's... I mean, well, I guess it makes sense because there's no way you're...
Objection!
No? It's not that. What the fuck is it then? fell asleep for a quick nap? Hey, that sounds good to me. All you missed was a lot of me being Fulbright and losing my voice. That's a lot of what you missed. And me getting stuff wrong here. So he said he took the ladder. Like, what's the contradiction here, then? Because I thought 100% the contradiction is, like, this. Because, you know, he's got both of them. How is he going to open the door there? Whoops. I just want to hear this one again. Is this just... Yeah, this is just the one that he went batshit on. So it's definitely this. This is where the contradiction lies. I just don't know where the contradiction lies.
Objection!
Oh, it's that. Okay. I did the other one. Oh, okay. So I was on the right track. I just clicked the wrong thing. That's what happened. Because I clicked the one with the diagram with the bomb because I wanted to point at the ladder. It's just the basic diagram is what I had to do. I see why I fucked up. Mr. Starbuck, why don't you just tell the truth? The truth? Let me see. The Earth is blue? No, that's not right. So, I guess the Earth isn't blue? Yeah, that's it. The truth, Mr. Starbuck. Gah! The oxygen concentration is super low in this area. Prepare the emergency oxygen tanks. Mr. Justice, the witness appears confused. Please help draw the truth for him. Mr. Starbuck, under the circumstances at the time, you couldn't possibly have reached the boarding lounge via the upper level route. Huh? Let's see. What'd you miss, Jaren? What'd you miss? So, let me try and give a brief description here of what you missed. So, they said, this is a prosecution, that our defendant set the explosives, blew up the rocket because he's scared of space, and he takes anxiety pills because of it. And he killed him in the rocket and carried his body in to try and look like a hero. That's what it is. That's what was said. So. Not as long as this was along the escape route. To get down from the upper to the middle level where the launch pad 1 corridor is, you would have to go down the ladder. Isn't that right, Mr. Starbuck? Of course. That was the only way we could escape.
Objection!
But how would that work? At the time, you were supporting Mr. Tehran over your shoulder, were you not? And remember, he was in full space gear as well, putting him at over 200 pounds. Oh! Well, it's easy on the moon. Gravity is only 1/6 of what it is on Earth.
Objection!
But the Space Center is located on Earth. Short of being an octopus, climbing the ladder with an adult male in space gear in one arm, while carrying the capsule in your other, is impossible, wouldn't you say? Oh. So, Mr. Starbuck, how exactly did you climb down the ladder with your arms full? Mr. Starbuck, come clean and tell us the truth now. Engineer! Where's that engineer? Oxygen leak detected due to faulty maintenance. What the? He's flying the coop? Help! I'm caught on the ceiling. Help? Anyone? Bailiff, prepare the cherry picker. We must launch our rescue mission at once. Well, that's one way to take off from while being questioned. I'd rather prove his innocence so he can go to space again someday for real. Now then, Mr. Starbuck, do you think you can keep your feet planted on the ground? Yes. Yeah, I apologize for losing control. Are you ready to tell us the truth? Not that! Anything but that! What is going on? This isn't the Mr. Starbuck I know.
It appears Spaceboy is prone to deception. Witness.
Yikes. Yes?
I thought your story odd, but perhaps the inconsistencies can be explained as the result of a medical side effect?
Professor or Prosecutor Blackwell, please, don't talk about that. What are you talking about, Prosecutor Blackwell?
Didn't I already state that Spaceboy is, ironically, terrified of going into space? That's why he took some precautions just before the launch. For you see, traces of this anti-anxiety drug were found in his system.
Oh. I sense things are about to get negative. Or about to nosedive. You got it all wrong. I told him during the investigation, too. I don't know anything about any drugs. I never took any medication. I swear. It was found in his system, but he doesn't remember taking it? How could that be? Somebody must have slipped him to me. But I guess maybe that's why I don't remember? Because of the side effects? Yeah, that's why I don't remember much about what happened, what really happened. What? The man was roofied. Order! Order in the court. We can't get any useful testimony out of him if he doesn't remember anything. Well, this certainly explains why his testimony kept changing. Why didn't he just tell me he couldn't remember? I guess he didn't want anyone to find out he was terrified of going into space. Maybe I really did do it.
Which brings us to the answer of our original question of how the witness climbed down the ladder with a dead body.
It does? So what is it?
A dead man feels no pain and makes no complaints. Justice Dono. So the body was simply dropped down from the top of the ladder.
Oh my! Yeah, I see. And then the defendant could climb down with his free hand. Whew. Drop the body down? Who would do such a disrespectful thing? Besides, dropping the body down would leave marks on the body itself.
So you are capable of quick thinking. Yes, you are correct.
Really? Oh, thanks. Ah! Huh? What's this?
It's the oxygen tank from the victim's spacesuit. It's ruptured. I'm sure you can figure out why.
You can't be implying it ruptured when the defendant dropped the victim's body.
I am. But they fracture easily when struck.
Even if that's true, the tank's explosion and shrapnel would leave its mark on the body. Yet, according to the autopsy report, only the knife wound was found on the victim's body. You're clearly grasping at straws with this line of reasoning.
Silence.
A spacesuit isn't heavy for the sake of being heavy. Justice Dono. It includes the latest technological devices and is made of the fabric of tomorrow. This fabric is made to protect astronauts from the dangers of space. So falling a few Earth yards would hardly leave a mark on the wearer.
Then shouldn't it be impossible to stab someone through it as well?
It should, and yet, through sheer coincidence, the knife slipped through a weak spot in the suit's structure and found its way to its target.
What are the chances?
You forget that our killer is an astronaut himself, with knowledge of how the suits work.
He's got me there.
And now my argument has been proven. Spaceboy killed the victim in the rocket, and then dropped his body from the upper level. After climbing down, he shouldered the body and made sure the camera recorded them. There's no room for debate about these facts. It is clear that Solomon Starbuck is the only one who could have killed Clay Tehran. Here, the report regarding the astronauts' oxygen tanks. Consider it my send-off gift. Feel free to use it as payment to across the river Styx.
Damn. Blackwell going in hard, though. So the victim's tank was ruptured with 0% left. The defendants had 80%. Remaining oxygen is displayed on the left shoulder. Time out. Time out. Wait a goddamn minute here. Bullshit! That is a lie! That is a 5, not an 8, if I've ever seen a 5. So that is absolute bullshit that he had 80% left. Like, that's absolute horseshit. Like, it says the defendants had 80% left. It says 50. Hey, this report is pretty detailed. The display on the astronaut's left shoulder shows the oxygen remaining after the incident. The victim's tank was ruptured and the remaining oxygen was 0%. The tank belonging to Starbuck, who claims to have carried the victim, said it was 80%. Okay. Said it was 80% full. Tanks were functioning properly at the time. Okay, well, that's different. Never mind. Never mind. It's written poorly. It's written poorly. Let's see. The display on the astronaut's left shoulder shows the oxygen level. I guess that means these glowing cyan digits represent the amount of oxygen in the tank. Either that or they're playing a weird game where they have to solve puzzles and do basic arithmetic, and there's a rabbit. Yeah? I'm done for. I'm going to prison instead of space.
Space boy.
Yes?
Take heart. The bejeweled night sky is still beautiful, even when viewed through bars.
You mean the stars as seen from prison?
That's right. Your cell will be your spaceship. Picture the view through the iron bars. It's like being an astronaut in your own craft for all time.
That's not a half bad thought. Mr. Starbuck? Prosecutor Blackwell got him good? Spaceship prison cell. Fly me, my guilt, and my despair into the deepest, darkest space. And then, let's get sucked into a black hole together.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, you can't give up hope. Oh? Yes. Apollo? You know, Clay really looked up to you. He said you were an incredible man. He said you'd never give up your dreams and passion for space, no matter the situation. He said that? So don't give up now, and help me prove your innocence. For the sake of the man who respected you and believed in you, Clay Tehran. for Clay.
You're wasting your breath.
Not good on the throat. Apollo, thank you. I can see things clearly now. The rain is gone. Mr. Starbuck, I'm fine now. Thanks for reminding me of my life's mission. Right. We're both fine. I'll prove you're innocent. You'll see. And after that, we'll get you back into space. Rah! You've ignited the booster rockets of my soul. I'm on fire now. I am Solomon Starbuck, astronaut, a cosmic hero chosen by the universe itself. This is no time to be whimpering and crying. I can't let you and Clay down.
Boulder Dash.
The sun, the moon, all of space is calling me. Solomon, Soul, Starbuck. Ready for launch. Begin the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off. What the fuck is he doing? Like, I get the inspirational bit of this, but what the fuck, man? Well, I feel like I've witnessed an actual rocket launch.
Apollo, you did it. You broke Prosecutor Blackwell's grip over Mr. Starbuck.
I can't take the credit. It was all Mr. Starbuck. He pulled himself through.
If you simpletons are done massaging one another's egos, no matter how positive your mood, my advantage remains unshakable. I have but to wait for the final guilty verdict. Isn't that right, your baldness?
I can't let up now. I have to stop Blackwell. I have to see this through. Mr. Starbuck just has to make it back into space. Okay, come on. In that picture, he was 100% Ty from Digimon. You cannot tell me fucking otherwise. I won't allow Clay's dream to remain unfulfilled. Can't tell me fucking otherwise there. I've got to destroy Blackwell's argument somehow. Think, Justice. Think. If the only people at Launchpad 1 were Clay and Mr. Starbuck, and if Clay was already dead by the time this footage was taken, then the only person who could have killed him is Mr. Starbuck. So the only way to counter Blackwell's argument is if I can prove that Clay was still alive when they arrived at the boarding lounge. In which case, I should be able to find some contradiction in the evidence itself. Now, let's see. About this data that we just received. This supposedly proves that Mr. Starbuck dropped Clay's body in Launchpad 1. But if I'm going to prove that false, then there must be something I can use here.
Enough of this farce, your baldness.
Oh.
Let's have your verdict.
Objection!
Oh. Huh. Well, shit. I was checking something for a bet, and turns out the guy I have to hit a home run isn't even in the lineup, so. What about KC's lineup? Oh, yep, he's there. So, okay. Alright. Prosecutor Blackwell, you seem to be in quite a hurry to rush the verdict. What about this oxygen tank data you submitted just now? It says that Mr. Starbuck's tank had 80% remaining while Mr. Tehran's had 0. So I was right. I was right. Never mind. Do you stand by the accuracy of this report?
Of course.
Then I guess it simply means that it's faulty, as evidence goes.
You will explain what you mean, Justice Dono.
It's simple. This evidence contradicts the facts of this case. Take a look here at the detailed description and you'll see what I mean. I hope you have some evidence, Mr. Justice, because I don't see what's so contradictory. Yes, Your Honor. Right away. This is the evidence that the oxygen tank report stands in contradiction to.
Take that!
How does this evidence present a contradiction? The problem is this part here.
Take that!
Note the remaining oxygen in Mr. Starbuck's tank as he carries Mr. Tehran. It appears to say 50. Yes, but according to the data, our client's tank had 80% remaining. The oxygen in the tank increased. I see. Your Honor finds it as strange as I do. It's bad enough that there is a contradiction, but the increase in oxygen is beyond illogical. Oh my, you're absolutely right. What is going on here?
Silence!
I too find it odd that the oxygen remaining has increased. It would be as odd as if my rations were to increase. But what does that prove? It doesn't change the fact that it is the defendant carrying the victim's corpse.
Objection!
Huh. I'm going to bet you don't get any more rations because you don't abide by the rules. Either way, the oxygen remaining shouldn't increase just as your rations don't increase. Therefore, this new information is critical. We can't overlook it.
Silence!
In that case, do you have an answer to this riddle of the mysteriously increasing oxygen? You better not disappoint, or I'll declare the inconsistency as mere equipment malfunction.
Prosecutor Blackwell has a point. I suppose it could be a simple malfunction. Mr. Justice, if you cannot prove an adequate counter-argument to this point, I'm afraid I must bring this trial to an end. Fuck. So do you think you can explain why the remaining oxygen level increased? Of course I can. The thing to do at a time like this is to turn my thinking around. Mr. Starbuck has no memory of it, but he claims to have carried clay. So this man with the 50 on his tank ought to be Mr. Starbuck. But if anything, the display on his oxygen tank should have shown an 80. This is a clear contradiction between the report and the security footage. So what I should be asking is not, why did the oxygen level increase? But what had to happen to make it look like it increased? Am I making some kind of mistake in my base assumptions here? Well, Mr. Justice, we're waiting. Yes, Your Honor. I'm ready to answer. This is why the remaining oxygen appears to have increased. Okay. Now, let me talk this over. Going into this, my ultimate thought process was, it's the victim carrying him. For two reasons. Now, the tanks were damaged makes sense. They were going the other way makes no sense. I don't know what this means. But this was my entire thought process for two specific reasons. One, it adds up because the victim was at 0, which means the lower number on the gauge we see there makes total sense then. Two, and more importantly, if we remember the intro, we have that little bit of an advantage. They both collapsed. Which means the man who would have been carrying the asteroid particles would have had it closest to him, which it was closest to the victim, which means he was the one carrying the fucking thing. That is the sole reason I think the victim was carrying the defendant. That is more the reason. I want to see if I big brain this or if I'm about to look like an entire dumbass. Please tell me I big brained it. Very rarely do I big brain things. Well, the music stopped. That's a good sign. What if it was the other way around? The other way around. Would you care to explain, Mr. Justice? As you can see, Your Honor, both men had their helmets on in this footage. But it turns out this is where our base assumptions went astray. We assumed that it was Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Tehran, but it was the other way around. It wasn't Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Tehran at all. It was Mr. Tehran who was helping Mr. Starbuck to the boarding lounge. It was what? It might have nothing to do with the canister, but my thought process was right. My thought process was right. So I did big brain it. I did big brain it. Legitimately, for the life of me, I was sitting here going like, doesn't it make sense that he's the one carrying him because the thing's laying there next to him and he would have been the one holding it because they all collapsed in the video we saw. So if they found him like that, that's going to be closer to the guy holding it. I just used context clues. Order! Order! Mr. Justice! You mean to tell me that the person on the right in this image is the victim, Clay Tehran? It's the only way the riddle of the increasing oxygen level can be solved, Your Honor. At this point in time, the remaining oxygen in the victim's tank was at 50%. And when the victim was found in the boarding lounge, his tank was at 0%. That's right. There's nothing contradictory about the oxygen level decreasing. This means Mr. Tehran was alive as they made their escape to the lounge.
Silence.
How short your memory is. Have you forgotten what you yourself proposed? Even if the victim was alive at this point in time. How did he descend the ladder with his arms full?
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, you can't hurt me with a broken blade.
Excuse me.
It's true that we don't know how they got down the ladder. I suppose that matter needs further investigating. But we have proven that Mr. Tehran was alive when he reached the boarding lounge. This fact alone shatters your claims and opens up the possibility that the victim could have been killed by a third party. There were two people who claimed to be the first on the scene. But can we truly trust their statements? Let's see. The two people were Detective Candace Arm and Wirght Cosmos, right? You think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police? Yes, it's certainly possible. We might have to do a little more digging. It seems we'll have to hear the testimony of those two people first. Those first two people on the scene. Score! Yes! Yes! Pulling Napoleon Dynamite there. Come to think of it, Detective Arm should be here in court right now. Bailiff, could you please show Detective Arm to the stand? Fucking Ted Tonate. I'm trying to remember if I think I just did the robot voice for him. Unless he didn't have his hand on the thing. I have an announcement, everyone. What's the meaning of this? We're in the middle of a trial here. But please remain calm and listen carefully. Someone has reactivated the bomb. The bomb was defused, but it's about to explode. Load! A bomb? Now? Everybody run!
I don't want to die! Oh no! Everyone's panicking!
Ugh. There's switching from voices is causing chaos for me right now. Whew!
Headless chickens with a death wish, the lot of you. Calm yourselves afore all else.
Come on, Apollo, let's get out of here!
But what about Mr. Starbuck's dream? And who will carry out Kali's final wish? I don't care what happens to me. I'm not letting some bomb blow the truth up forever. Hey, nobody calls me chicken. Dude, he looks so much like Ty from Digimon. I can't get over it now. I can't get over it. I put up that photo earlier for you guys to see. He looks just like him. A little darker hair, that's about it. I refuse to let things end here.
Apollo, there is no time to be dramatic. If we don't get out of here now, we're gonna die. Come on, this way.
Hey, ouch, let me go!
Apollo!
Juniper? She hasn't evacuated yet? Juniper, are you alright?
Apollo, no, not that way.
Ah! Animu. Oh, okay, straight to be continued. Never mind, no Animu. Okay. Damn. Alright. We still got 30 minutes, so we're going to keep moving. We're going to keep moving since we still got 30 minutes left. We zoomed through that. I'm not going to lie, we zoomed through that trial. I did not expect us to get through that as quick as we did. And I'm very happy about it. Doesn't help that my voice is fucking shot. Now, given the screaming during my recording at my players and vocals, will do that to you. I scream at a lot of virtual people. It's still the same case that takes place right after case 1. I mean, I would expect it to, given I think every case we've done has been a flashback outside of the first case, so makes sense. In the middle of this, well, I just realized it's Phoenix. In the middle of the Space Center bombing trial, we had another bombing incident. This one destroyed courtroom number 4. Furthermore, Apollo suffered massive injuries from being there when the bomb went off. He became vengeful. He became a denizen of the night. He became Batman. Unfortunately, Juniper Woods was fingered as the courtroom bomber. Athena and I knew she had to be innocent, so we took her case on. It's 'cause, as I stated,
He's Batman.
we managed to clear Miss Wood's name. Now, this girl got no luck at all. but Apollo sustained further injuries when he was attacked by Ted Toney. December 19th, 3:21 p.m. Write Anything Agency. Apollo is a tough guy, but this is taking its toll on him. Yeah. Poor guy. Being attacked by Toney like that on top of all his other injuries. I mean, dude's a walking cast at this point. He looks cool as shit, though, with that jacket. Apollo is resting at the nearby Hickfield Clinic. I've had some experience with that place myself. Weird-ass doctor. What an awful turn of events. I never thought he'd land in a hospital of all places. Is this trauma arc in a shonen anime? Yeah. Yep. This is what really brings him to be the main character that he truly is. He's gonna find the nine-tailed fox inside of him after this. You must miss him too, huh? Now that you don't have anybody to tease. Don't worry. He's young. He'll heal quickly and be back before you know it. Yeah, it's been a while since I last saw Trucy look so down. If I see a fucking swing. We won the court case, yet nobody feels much like celebrating.
Alright, enough of this, people. This is no time to be moping around. Now, dry those eyes. Both of you.
Swing had more screen time than Tenzin. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. Oh shit, Josh Bell is in the lineup. I didn't realize he was in the lineup. Fuck, I didn't see his name. Shit. Come on, Josh. Bomb one. Bomb one for Minnesota to get a 3-run lead. And then Vinny Pasquantino can bomb one. Come on. You're the only one who's crying, Athena.
Technicalities. Look, we have work to do. We have to take over. We are the new world order. For life.
Take over what exactly?
Apollo Space Center case, of course. As no verdict's been reached, there's still a chance. I agree with Athena. We should pick up Mr. Starbuck's defense. We have to avenge our fallen comrade. Right, Daddy?
Apollo hasn't exactly fallen. He's still alive, you know. What the fuck's happening? Oh, they're fixing up the mound. What the fuck happened to the mound? This is weird watching them fix the dirt on the mound. This is so strange. That's weird seeing.
Good. Now that that's settled, let's get going. Come on, we gotta run. Wait, right now? Now?
We'd better not be running the whole way. There she goes. There she goes again. There she goes. I better go catch up. Can you take care of the office, Trucy? Sure thing, Daddy. Let's be careful out there. In the meantime, I'm going to bake some cookies and fill out my magic panties for you. That sounds weird. Trucy seems to be feeling a little better. I can always count on Athena to perk everybody up with her enthusiasm. Oh, she's back. Don't mind me. Just forgot a few things. Wallet, phone, the documents, my bag. Sounds like you forgot everything. Can always count on Athena for that, too. Alright, you two. Let's be careful out there. December 19th, Detention Center. Visitor's room. So our client is one Solomon Starbuck. He's so famous even I've heard of him. That's right. He's a super famous astronaut. He works at the Cosmos Space Center. He was actually up in outer space 7 years ago. You seem to know quite a bit about him. Now I'm all excited to meet the man. Wow. That was the longest sigh I've ever heard. Apollo told me all about you. You're Phoenix Wright. Apollo's mentor, right? Yes. That's right. Mentor has a nice ring to it. Don't worry about a thing, Mr. Starbuck. Mr. Wright and I got you covered. And you're the new kid that Apollo told me about. Wait. Didn't I know you from don't I know you from somewhere? Ah, damn. Though got a lift, but not enough. Huh? You mean other than that our trial? I don't think so. I guess so. My mistake. My memory isn't what it used to be. My mind and body are kaput. Same goes for my life. Yes, we don't think about that. He's not his mentor. He studied under one Phoenix Wright at the Wright Anything Agency. That is scientifically what happened. Even though he kind of learned everything on the job and the prosecutor taught him everything, we just know. That's not science. I mean, I'm so astronomically unlucky that I had a bomb go off in the middle of my trial. Trying to defend me would be like trying to enter the stratosphere without a spacecraft. Yikes. He's seriously got to stop depressing himself. Cheer up, Mr. Starbuck. Besides, that thing you said about entering the stratosphere, that just means we'd shine like shooting stars, right? Like shooting stars, huh? You know, you're right. Why didn't I think of that? He's busy. He's doing rock star things or famous prosecutor things or other things. I don't know. He's doing things. After all, That's what we were all put on this earth to do, right? To shine like stars. Guess I shouldn't mention the fact that shooting stars burn out in a flash. I'll be back in a second, guys. I gotta go to the bathroom. So I will be back in a second. Alright, I'm back. And while I was taking a piss, I just thought about something. I need to put together a video game playlist or a video game soundtrack playlist. That way we have that to play in the background for streams, because that won't get caught for copyright more than likely. So I can roll with that perfectly fine and be happy. So you guys are gonna have to give me recommendations for what games I should grab tracks out of for soundtracks. Oh yeah, here we go. 3, 2, 1, to the stratosphere and beyond. Yeah, I feel alive now. You can go ahead and ask me anything you want. Is that really all it takes? I mean, right now, the thought process for games is like, the Phoenix Wright soundtrack doesn't seem to get caught, so that seems to work. So I might pull a lot of, like, visual novel soundtracks. But I don't know what other game soundtracks would be fitting. Because I know, as much as I like it, because I've heard it, the Expedition 33 soundtrack apparently gets caught for copyright so much. So sadly can't use any of that. Sadly. Alright, the case. I'm looking at things real quick. Alright. I mean, I want a good like blend in the playlist. That's why, like, I want a couple of different games involved. Like, I'm gonna put at least some of the Phoenix Wright. Mainly Godot's theme is getting put in the playlist because Godot's theme is the best track of all time. I don't care. You can put up any visual novel track for the most part up against it. Godot's theme wins. So you have no memory at all of the incident? I'm so ashamed. My memory of the time is as black and clouded as a dark nebula.
Still, it's strange you don't remember a thing. Are you sure you didn't take one of those anti-anxiety pills like they said at the trial?
It is true, I developed a fear of space because of what happened 7 years ago. And I was taking medication secretly every now and then when my anxiety got bad. Having a fear of space is not something an astronaut can brag about, you know. Cornered themes in the playlist, is they just as good? I'll say I gotta look at a bunch of stuff. Like there's a lot of different games I want to look at, soundtrack wise. But I just figured like I can do that. That way for like Pokemon, we can just play other video game soundtracks in the background. And stuff like that. So it'll be a lot easier. And probably more fitting at times. Oh, the so-called Hat 1 miracle? That must have been a terrifying experience. But I'm still an astronaut at heart. Come what may. I would never take drugs that might impede my performance just before launch. That launch meant everything to me. That's more certain than the theory of relativity. He seems like a completely different person now. This is the face of the astronaut I know.
But the tranquilizers were found in your system.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. but I don't know why. I'm done for. If you didn't take them, then maybe somebody slipped them to you? Exactly. That's what I thought. It must have been the real culprit. My medication was in my locker. Anybody could have gotten their hands on it.
Maybe the real culprit also planted the detonator switch in your pocket.
Yeah, that's gotta be it. I've been framed. I'll say, they even managed to plant your prints on the switch before slipping it in. It's a real possibility. Do you remember anything else that might be relevant? Anything at all, no matter how small, like about the murder weapon, for example. That knife. I think it came from one of the Space Center's utility kits. Utility kits? Yeah. Staff would work on machinery a lot. Staff who work on machinery a lot are given these special toolkits to use. All the technicians have them, so I doubt you could prove whose knife it is. Okay. The Hat 1 miracle. As I recall, your last trip into space was 7 years ago, right? That's right. It was a pretty rough experience. During that mission, we had all kinds of problems with the craft. You did? What kind of problems? Power failure, oxygen leakage, busted radio, cracked windows, loose control columns. The heat shield came off as we were entering the atmosphere. I thought I was a goner. But I managed to make it somehow with the popsicles and ice packs from the freezer.
No wonder they dubbed it the Hat 1 miracle. It's a miracle you made it back.
Space is a boundless place. That's why it continues to capture people's imaginations. The vastness of space shows us how insignificant we are in the scheme of things. The darkness just goes on forever, and ever, and ever, without end. There was nobody else there. Nobody was gonna come save me. I was all alone. All alone. Nothing to listen to but the sound of my own breathing and heartbeat. I kept scrambling to make repairs. I couldn't keep my hands from shaking. An experience like that would make anybody afraid to go up into space. Outer space. Oop, sorry about that.
With the experience you had, weren't you dreading this mission?
What? No way. Of course not. Even now, I want to go up into space so bad. I can barely stand it. I want to shake off the Earth's gravity at escape velocity and spin around weightless.
You have to admit, it was pretty harrowing. Weren't you even a tiny bit afraid?
I was afraid. Of course I was. Still am. But space is a man's final frontier. An unknown world. The cosmic truth is out there waiting for us somewhere. The cosmic truth, huh? I guess there are people looking for the truth in every walk of life. No matter how afraid I get, or no matter how afraid I am, I'm sure I can manage. If I give in to my fear, I'll never find the truth. As long as I don't give up, I can keep up the fight. One thing's for sure, Mr. Starbuck's passion for space is undeniably the real deal. And we will ask him about the victim next week. That is where we are going to call it for now. So, next week, we will figure out exactly how this case goes. And who exactly is up to no fucking good. Because let's be real, that's always what it is. They're up to no fucking good. And I've got no idea right now who the person might be outside the director. So, unless somebody else shows up, I think the director did it. That's really all I got right now. But with that, that's going to bring us to the end of this one. Let me get some music going for you guys to take you out. Whoops. Gotta get my volume down. But tomorrow, we'll be back for more of the hardcore randomized Pokemon Black Nuzlocke. And I think that's really all I gotta talk about right now. I don't think I've got anything else to really discuss. You guys may or may not see an upload today. I don't know if I'm gonna upload FIU today or not. So I will say that. There may not be an upload today, and FIU may go up Saturday. So that's just a heads up. Depends on how I'm feeling, really, over everything else. With that, Jaren, Dash, appreciate you guys being here. If you're watching after the fact, we're just chilling in chat. I appreciate you too. But I will see you guys next time.